This
Departmental head.
conference will now be recorded.
I am the departmental head of physiology from Mahadevananda Mahavidyalaya. Dr. Arijit Kormakar. My name is Dr. Arijit Kormakar. So our department has organized this one-day national e-seminar on homeopathy and mental health in collaboration with Dr. Wilma Swab India Private Limited. So our department is very much thankful to Dr. Nayan Kumar Sarkar, the principal of Mahadevananda Mahavidyalaya, for giving us the permission to organize this program in collaboration with Dr. Wilma Schwab India Private Limited. We are thankful to the Dr. Wilma Schwab India Private Limited for collaborating with us in conducting this kind of program. And our department is thankful to the Honorable Speaker, Dr. Biswajit Basu, for accepting our invitation for delivering his talk. And our department is also thankful to the all participants for participating in this program. So now I would like to deliver this session to Mr. Abhijit Bhoumik, the regional, the zonal manager of Dr. Wilma Schwab India Private Limited. So, Mr. Abhijit, you may please carry this session.
Thank you very much, Dr. Orijit. And at the very outset, I would like to wish that during these very trying times of COVID, everybody is safe, well protected, but active. I, at the very outset, also would like to thank Dr. Orijit once again and his college for taking this onus to bring about this very interesting webinar. And I also thank his principal for giving the support to Dr. Orijit for making it happen today. I thank the participants also for being available today, very intently seeking to understand the homeopathy and the mental state. And before that, I think I've got a big job to do, that is to introduce the speaker. Just prior to that, I would say, know that mental health is basically referring to the cognitive, behavioral, and emotional well-being. And as we all know, that looking after mental health can preserve our ability to enjoy life and reach a balance between life activities, responsibilities, and efforts to achieve the psychological resilience. And I'm sure we also know that mental health is actually much more than just absence of mental disorders or disabilities. And we will know further from our speaker, our revered, I would say, Dr. Bishwajit Basu. So to make this session very interesting, I think the speaker needs to be introduced to in the best possible way, because then we all understand from whom are we hearing this. This is a very important aspect. Dr. Bishwajit Basu sir was telling me that don't introduce much about myself. But I told him no, I would like to introduce which I find is adequate for this session. So let me introduce Dr. Bishwajit Basu sir. He is a very eminent homeopathic doctor placed in Calcutta, passing his BHMS in honors in Materia Medica, and in all university exams ranking the first in order of merit from the University of Calcutta, West Bengal, and is also awarded the degree of doctorate in medicine, MD Homeo. He is currently the chairman of the Bengal Academy of Applied Homeopathy, which is abbreviated as BAAH, Kolkata, West Bengal, and rendering service as a teaching faculty in the Department of Materia Medica, especially in the UG and the PG level at DNA Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital, Government of West Bengal, India. He participated in the International Homeo Congress organized by Liga, Germany. Well, Liga, for those who are not aware, is the oldest and the biggest forum, homeopathic forum, where doctors all around 70 countries around the world are there. He presented a paper entitled as Maslow's Personality Profile, Practical Vedanta and Homeopathy, a new method of evaluation of symptoms for selection of remedy in the Liga 2011. He has also authored books, namely An Illustration of Importance of Family History and An Expedition on Carcinosin, and also contributed articles on homeopathy in many national homeo journals and periodicals. He also rendered his expertise towards compilation of Indian drugs published by Central Council for Research in Homeopathy, which is called CCRH, Government of India, New Delhi, Department of Ayush, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. And Dr. Basu is one of the international postgraduate mentor and guide, and for the Hahnemann College of Homeopathy, London, UK. And he is also the life member of HMAI, which is the Homeopathic Medical Association of India, and the Indian Red Cross Society, and also Liga, Germany. So I think this introduction is adequate enough to boost our interest, and I now hand over the session fully to Dr. Bishwajit Basu sir. And while on this, I also thank our product manager, Mr. Shashank Shekhar, right from Noida, who is watching us, who has played an instrumental role in seeing that the entire program is smoothly organized by the links and the network and everything. And I program a grand success. Now, Dr. Bishwajit Basu sir, the stage is yours. Thank you, sir.
Namaskar. Very good afternoon to everybody. At the outset, I pay my gratitude and thanks to the organizer, especially Professor Dr. Arijit Kormakar, HOD, Department of Physiology of the College of Barakpur, and Mr. Abhijit Bhomik, Regional Manager, Dr. Wilma Swabe Company, and his entire team to give me the opportunity and invitation to share my experiences with you people, the learned people of today's e-seminar. Most welcome all of you, all the participants. Dr. Abhijit Bhomik told many things about me. He said it is adequate. I am telling, also told him not to explore in that manner. However, now we are going to straight away to the seminar. I am sharing my slides, and I would like to have questions from the participants after the session is over. They will conduct the question and answer session. Don't ask any question whenever I am delivering speech.
So before you start, just 1 minute, sir, that any questions
Yeah.
are there in the last, in the maybe last 10 minutes, we will devote to some questions which are being asked, and sir will try to answer a few only because there's a constraint of time. And then who are further interested in seeking further knowledge would contact BAAH and Dr. Bishwajit Basu Das, and we'll give the phone numbers and the necessary information in the WhatsApp group that we've created. Right, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And once more, I also thank Mr. Praveen Saxena, who's joined us, our product manager in Noida. He's waving at us. You also have played a very important role in seeing this program happens. So thank you very much.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks all of you, Dr. Wilman Swabe, entire team, those who are supporting this webinar. Our today's topic is homeopathy and mental health. Now, actually, I am putting a question to the participants regarding mind. The question: who is your enemy number one in your life? It would be better if anyone put off their audio system, then it will be good for ventilation of the knowledge. So first question of the day is, who is your enemy number one in your life? The answer is you, yourself. Because you have not control over your mind, over your inner self. Considering this perspective, we are entering today's seminar. In New Testament, Jesus Christ said, the kingdom of God does not come from observation, though it is here, though it is there, for the kingdom of God, it is within you. The famous poet, English poet John Milton said, the mind is its own place and in itself can make heaven of hell and hell of heaven. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 6, verse number 6, I am not telling the Sanskrit part, just I am sharing you the English translation of that verse. For those who have conquered the mind, it is their friend. For those who have conquered their mind, it is their friend. For those who have failed to do so, who have failed to conquer, mind works like an enemy. So, who is our enemy? Ourselves. Whenever we are failing to conquer ourselves, then we become our own enemy. If we consider the definition of health from World Health Organization, they narrate in a specific manner a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Generally, we are considering absence of disease is health. But World Health Organization beautifully defined health has to be three components: physical health, mental health, and social well-being. In this perspective, today we will discuss homeopathy and mental health. Now I am sharing the idea of health from homeopathic perspective. Our master Samuel Hahnemann, about 200 years ago, defined health in that manner. In the healthy condition of man, the spiritual vital force, the dynamis that animates the material body, rules with unbounded sway and retains all the parts of the organism in admirable, harmonious vital operation as regards both sensation and function, so that our indwelling reason gifted mind can freely employ this living healthy instrument for the higher purposes of our existence. In this perspective, I am taking the privilege to share the quotation from Julian Huxley, famous biologist, states, he said, quality of your life, not quantity, becomes a great criteria of evolution. Can you live at peace with yourself? First question. Can you live at peace with yourself? Can you live with your family with peace? Can you live at peace with your friends, with your neighbor? So, goal of human evolution is fulfillment. What our master said, the healthy instrument is of our existence. Particularly in the definition of Hahnemann regarding health, he emphasized body and mind.
Please mute the others.
In this picture, actually, someone talking in the panel. Please,
Shanji, please mute the others. We discussed that.
mute others, please.
রিপোর্ট চেক করবেন তারপরে রিপোর্ট আমরা পেশেন্টের কাছে দিতে পারবো ঠিক আছে আপনি এবার সোমবার দিন 12টা 12:30 নাগাদ একবার ফোন করে দেবেন যে আপনার হয়তো রিপোর্টটা রেডি হয়ে
Shashanki, please mute the others.
The imagery of chariot.
All the participants are requested to mute their microphone. All the participants are requested to keep their microphone in mute mode.
Okay, thank you, organizer. Actually, I am telling about quality of life and concluded in the last line, goal of human evolution is fulfillment. In relation with Hahnemann's definition, our living health instrument for the higher purposes of our existence. Actually, in the definition of health, Hahnemann make a relation in between body and mind, and it should be a harmonious vital operation. If we consider our body as a chariot, what you are seeing in the picture, in the chariot, if we consider this is our body, in the center of the chariot is a cell, and total chariot is the body. Now the buddhi is the charioteer. The manas, the mind, is the reins of the horses. And all the horses is the sense organs. Whenever our sense organs goes forward in stimulation, getting stimulation from objects without the control of the reins of the horses, that is mind, our sense organ will go anywhere. But when our sense organ is being attached with our mind, with the reins, but being detached with our buddhi, that is intelligence, our mind may accompany with our sense organs and make a havoc and massacre. But when our intelligence, buddhi, and the reins of the horses, that is the mind, making beautifully harmony and synchronize in between mind, buddhi, and sense organs, then only this chariot can move. Whenever is there any breakage from buddhi to mind or mind to sense organs, if there may happen any breakage, then the body will fall down. Likewise, our body, human body, is not a physical thing. Always it is body and mind going together, and body and mind making a harmonious relationship to go the higher purpose of our existence. Actually, Hahnemann's view on mental health. Regarding mental health, Hahnemann classified it in three parts. So, till 1980, the psychology subject they relates mostly on the abnormal psychology and development of psychological facts and figures. After 1980s, few scientists in America and Japan, they conducted some work on positive psychology. But about 200 years ago, Hahnemann uttered very clearly about positive psychology. What is that part? He said, when body and mind work together in harmony, admirable harmonious condition, then only we can fulfill our higher purpose of their existence. So to fulfill higher purpose of our existence, it is in relation with positive psychology. Another part is abnormal psychology. That is in relation to all psychiatric problems. The last thing is mental generals. It is another thing, not actually well acquainted with the person of psychology or psychiatry. Mental generals is a typical term. We homeopaths do know the thing. Whenever we are taking the case, we are asking the patient whether you are likes company or not, are you having any fear of any objects, many things they are detailing, and all the points we are taking in favor of our prescription. But those points, those were narrating by the patient, actually those points are not classified under abnormal psychology, not under positive psychology. That is, for prescription point of view, we are asking the patient, that is mental generals. Now I am telling few general points of human psychology. There are three attributes for every
So the
human being.
PowerPoint, needs to be available. If your PowerPoint is not being seen here, if you can, sorry to interrupt
We are
you.
not getting. We are not getting.
No, we are not. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I actually have shared already. Let me see. No slide. Actually, you are not getting. No.
No, we are not.
Okay, sorry. It assumes me already I have shared it, but okay. Have you got it now?
Yes.
It is there now. Thank you.
Is there, sir? Right, sir.
Okay, just once again I am repeating the picture in relation to body, mind and sense organs. Here is the chariot, our body, the buddhi is the charioteer, and the reins of the horses is mind, and this is horse. Already what I have written in my last part of the lecture. Now the classification of mental health, already I have written mental health, positive, abnormal and mental generals. Now attributes. The general attributes of human being. First attribute is mode of goodness. In Sanskrit it is called Sattva Guna. Desire for peace of mind. Desire for cultivation of knowledge. Desire for compassion for service. Actually, what actually we got today from Dr. Arijit Karmakar. Having a mood of goodness, he desired for cultivation of knowledge and compassion for service. The second is mode of passion. In Sanskrit, Rajoguna. Desire for the object of sense, attainment of worldly objects, achievement, ambition for post, especially in corporate sector to make credential. Everything is coming from the attributes of mode of passion. Last is the mode of ignorance, tamogun, desire for violence, desire for confrontation, anger, indolence, etc. are the attributes of tamoguna. So the natural disposition is everyone having natural disposition of his mind characterized by three modes, singly or jointly. Our goal is to eliminate lower desire, to enhance, to develop higher desire, sublime, elevate the life. If you would given a choice, you would rather have rather burning passion of knowledge than to ask for an ice cream. It is human nature. Now I am inserting another slide. How we become sick in our mental level. Cause of all sickness is desire and its consequences. This is desire. If it fulfilled, then come back with redoubled intensity and grade. When the desire is fulfilled naturally, come back with redoubled intensity and greed. Ultimately, it may go to unfulfilled state. In some people, desire is not fulfilled from the very beginning. If it be unfulfilled, then it turns into anger and frustration. In that manner, from anger and frustration, the basic instinct in our mental level develops different types of mental and physical diseases. Now, in a nutshell, actually, I am going through a few slides advocated by Niemans for mental state examination. Actually, why I am inserting those slides, what is the parameter we should know to know the mental state regarding particular. Then they are asking about complaint, history of present illness, onset, past history, family history. Whatever they are asking now in Niemans, Hahnemann advocated all those things about 200 years ago. That is why I am sharing all this. MSc in mental state examination, the important part is cognition. Cognition relates consciousness, orientation, concentration, calculation, memory, intelligence, insight, acknowledge, and consequences. Now I am putting a picture. You are seeing a picture. Hope all of you are seeing a picture in the slide. Then what
Yes.
will be the impression, first impression in your mind? And how our mind and work together to come conclusion, let us see. Whenever this type of picture we are getting, not in picture in reality, what reaction comes? A large animate object is quickly approaching to me. Then Buddhi decides. The large animate is a bull. It is angry. It wants to attack someone. In first stage, our mind only recognizes the large animate object is quickly approaching to us. Then Buddhi determines that's a bull. It is angry. It wants to attack someone. Then our self, Ankar, claims it wants to attack me. It is I who see this bull. It is I who am frightened. It is I who am about to run away. In the last stage, we ourselves attached to the sequence. Now I know that this is bull, which is not I. It is dangerous. There are others who do not know this. It is my own personal knowledge which will cause me to avoid this bull in future. Likewise, in every aspect, wherever we are getting stimulation to our sense object, mind, intellect, and Ankar self work together in a very harmonious way. And ultimately, we are concluding and get perception about anything. Whenever any disharmony takes place in between the link, then mental trouble develops. Now I am telling quote unquote from Hahnemann, what is mental generation? Hahnemann said, we shall therefore never be able to cure comfortably to nature, that is to homeopathically, if we do not, in every case of disease, even such as are acute, observe along with the other symptom, those relating to the changes in the state of mind and disposition. Actually, we homeopath consider from our master's instruction, patient may suffer from acute disease, patient may suffer from chronic disease. But in every case, with bodily discomfort, with the bodily disfigurement, everyone having some mental modification. You all know, even if you are getting a common cold, getting common cold, you became irritable. Someone became very much timid. Someone became very much uh, drowsy, like that. In every sequence, it may be acute stage or chronic stage. With the physical trouble, we are having some mental modification. And if we do not select for the patient's relief, for among the medicine, the disease force, which in addition to the similarity of other symptoms to those of the disease is also capable of producing a similar state of the disposition in the mind. Actually, in homeopathy, we following the law of similarity. We are using medicine having capacity to develop symptoms in human economy, in healthy condition, both in body and mind, few symptoms. And whenever any patient is suffering with those level and in mind and is very similar to that medicine, that would be the remedy for that particular patient. So in case taking, when we were taking the case, we are considering mental symptom, not mental abnormalities, mental symptoms. It would not be considered the domain of psychiatry or abnormal psychology. That is mental generals. Then we are going to proper abnormal psychology, mental disease. Regarding that, Hahnemann said, all their other morbid symptoms disappearing as it were before the single great prominent symptom of this character, what are termed as mental disease. They do not, however, constitute a class of disease sharply separated from all others. Hahnemann said, mental disease is not an exclusive nothing. Constitute a class of disease sharply separated from others. Since in all other so-called corporeal disease, the condition of the disposition of mind is always altered. The inspection have to be related to the cure of mental disease may be confined to a very few remarks, as they are to be cured in the same way as all other disease, namely by a remedy which shows by the symptom it causes in the body and mind. Now I am sharing our master's experience from mental disease. He wrote in his lesser writing, for the first fortnight, I only observed him without treating him medicinally. So as a homeopathic physician, if we do like to treat patients suffering from psychiatric trouble, abnormal psychology, we have to observe the patient very minutely. At the same time, the patient party, they should know the thing. Just hearing few points, just attending few moments with the patients, it is very difficult to prescribe homeopathic medicine those who are suffering from any mental disorder. A present understanding of psychiatry. WHO advocated ICD-10 in relation with classification of mental and behavioral disorder and clinical description and diagnostic guidelines. Now I am corroborating with Hahnemann's idea and latest idea how Hahnemann classified mental disease about 200 years ago. He only classified in 4 groups. What ICD-10 classified more than 100 types. Let us see. Type 1. Almost all the so-called mental and emotional disease are nothing more than corporeal disease. Hahnemann said almost all the mental and emotional disease are more than corporeal disease, in which symptom of derangement of the mind and disposition peculiar to each of them is increased when the corporeal symptom differs. In classification, if we go through ICD-10, we will get by classification F00 to F09, organic including symptomatic and mental disorder, from F20 to F29 and deletion disorder, F50 to 59 behavioral syndrome and associated psychological disturbance, physiological disturbance, F70 to 79 mental retardation, F80 to 89 disorder of psychological development, and 90 to 99 behavioral and emotional disorder with onset usually occurring in childhood and adolescence. So, what Hahnemann classified in class 1, now it is being classified in ICD-10 in different types. Then what would be the methodology of treatment for type 1? To this collection of symptoms belongs to the first phase of accurate description of all the phenomena of the previous so-called corporeal disease. Whenever you are seeking help for mental disease, first of all, keep in mind, you should prepare yourself to say detail the history from since childhood, whatever corporeal disease we have suffered from. Actually, what is happening to our patients whenever they are seeking our help for mental trouble or psychiatric trouble, hardly they consider if they are in a relationship with corporeal disease or not. But in type 1, if you do like to have consultation from a homeopathic physician and if you expect outcome is cure, then you have to detail your past history relating all corporeal disease. And from that phenomenon actually, how the disposition of mind is being altered, we calculate all those things and we analyze all those things, and after all, we prescribe for the patient. Then type 2, insane mania, caused pride, vexation, abuse of spirituous leaders, etc., have suddenly broken out as an acute disease in the patient's ordinary conscious. Otherwise, he was calm and quiet, getting some stimulation, which may be from mental cause, from vexation, from pride, from anxiety, or from abuse of liquor, etc., suddenly broken out. An acute manifestation almost arises from internal fundamental cause, like a flame bursting forth from it. Yet when it occurs in this acute manner, whenever they are presenting, looks like acute mania, acute manifestation. In that case, actually, the ICD-10, if we corroborate, F10 to F19, F32, 39, F42, 45 is to be corroborated with type 2 of Hahnemann's classification. Then what would be the methodology of treatment for type 2? It should not be immediately treated with deep acting medicine. Actually, it is for homeopathic doctors. You common people, you are not supposed to know all those things, but just I am sharing idea. Whenever anyone is suffering from type 2, they are not supposed to give any deep acting medicine. There are few medicines, a short acting, but it will act very good to combat the acute situation. Whenever it will be subsided, then the deep acting medicine will be administered. We have recovered from an acute and mental emotional disease by the use of this medicine, short-acting medicine, should never be regarded as cured. So whenever you are attending any homeopathic physician for any acute mania, he may suggest for you medicine, and after getting medicine you may be recovered, but you should continue the treatment. Otherwise, in latter case, if it be relapse once again, it will be more furious. After getting the acute remedy, that is the short-acting remedy, the physician will decide on his part when he will advocate or administer the chronic deep-acting medicine for that particular patient. As a common people, I am requesting all of you, whenever you are having any trouble, seeming to acute mania or acute mental trouble, and already you have say consultation from a homeopathic physician, he correctly prescribed medicine, and after getting medicine, you have recovered, but don't give up the treatment. Continue that treatment to that particular homeopathy doctor. In this point, Hahnemann advised, apart from medicine, if he attend faithfully to the diet and regimen prescribed for him. So along with medication, diet is also very important for the patient, those who are suffering from type 2. Regarding diet, just I am giving one slide. You all know serotonin is a neurotransmitter that helps regulate sleep, appetite, mediate moods, inhibit pain. Since about 95% of serotonin is produced in gastrointestinal tract. And gastrointestinal tract is lined with 100 million nerve cells, neurons. It makes sense that inner working of digestive system don't just help to digest food, but also guide your emotions, your moods. Don't ignore foods in any way. Mostly we know that we are taking nutritious food, wholesome food to make our physique good. No, as well as it will maintain your mental health. Studies have shown that when people take probiotics, their anxiety levels, perception of stress, mental outlook improve compared with people who did not take probiotics. Then in type 2, I am once again telling about the danger. If the deep-acting medicine is not administered in proper time, it be omitted, then we may almost assuredly expect from a much slighter cause than brought on the first attack of the insanity, a speedy occurrence of a new and more lasting severe fit. That is why, once again I am repeating, whenever you are seeking treatment for any acute mania and being recovered, you must consult your doctor for follow-up treatment. Now type 3. It relates with ICD F09, F29, F39, F59, F69, and F79. If the mental disease be not quite developed, and if it is still somewhat doubtful whether it is really aroused from corporeal affection or result from fault of education, bad practice, corrupt morals, neglect of the mind, superstition, ignorance, etc. There is confusion actually. In this relation, already I have told the numerics and classification from ICD-10. Then methodology of treatment. Scope of counseling. The mode of deciding this point will be that if the proceed from one or other of the latter cause, from faults of education, bad practice, corrupt morals, it will diminish and be improved by sensible, friendly exhortation. So, in type 3 patient, almost in every case, some of the doctors they are suggesting for psychological counseling. No, especially type 3. In case of type 3, those who are having psychological trouble from corporeal affection or fault of education, bad practice, corrupt morals, in those cases, scope of counseling is more. At the same time, the removal of the maintaining cause is to be maintained. Then counseling contraindicated where? Where is a real moral or mental malady depending on bodily disease would be speedily aggravated by such a course, the melancholy would become still more dejected. When the cause of the disease, real moral or mental malady depending on bodily disease, in that case, counseling is contraindicated. If we get any history of corporeal disease, just before the attack of the psychiatric problem. In that case, whenever we are treating the patients, it will be considered in type 3. And in that case, if we detect that there is some obvious cause, there may be some obvious cause in corporeal level, after in consequences with these mental symptom or the mental disability or mental aberration develops, in that case, counseling is contraindicated. Then type 4, psychosomatic, the term is known to all of you. There are, however, as has just been stated, certainly a few emotional disease which have not merely been developed into that form out of corporeal disease, but which an inverse manner, the body being but slightly indisposed, originate and are kept by the emotional cause, such as continued anxiety, worry, vexation, grief, wrongs, and the frequent occurrence, great fear and fright. Getting all those mental stimulation, now patient is suffering from some corporeal disease. Patient may have persisting anxiety for a long time, now develops gastric ulcer. Patient may have suffered from persisting and prolonged deep vexation, now suffering from osteoarthritis. In all those things, actually what phenomena took place, it is psychosomatic. Persisting anxiety, persisting vexation gives an opening for development of some corporeal disease. I am eliciting one example from Hahnemann's brief. The sudden death of a son caused the tender mother already in ill health an incurable suppuration of lungs or cancer of the breast. This is the observation of Hahnemann himself. Otherwise, the mother was ill due to some other causes. Due to sudden death of her son, in consequences with she was suffering from lung cancer. In that relation, Hahnemann said, uninterrupted grief, vexation very soon increases even the smallest traces of slumbering, a fundamental cause of Sora, into more severe symptom. And they then develop this into an outbreak of all imaginable chronic disease. So we should be very cautious. From the homeopathic perspective of consideration of mental disease, I am happy to share you. If you having any persisting mental anxiety, vexation, grief, please give up that. Counsel yourself. I have another life. I am not supposed to live with anxiety all time. I am not supposed to live with anger and vexation all time. I should overcome all those phenomena. Otherwise, if you have any predisposition, you may suffer from grave disease. In this relation, I am sharing you a beautiful example of a research was conducted in Boston University in 2015 or 14. They have conducted a research work between two groups. One group, they are under stress and vexation and grief, and another group, they are under compassion and peace. How they did it developed? The group, those who are in exposure to grief and vexation, they are suggested to remind and recollect all resentment in their life continuously. And another group, they have in a very good place, good emotional atmosphere. Not only that, they have shown some videos with compassion and all those things. People are serving people, people are helping people in different calamities and wars, all those things. Those people are inducted with that compassion. After that, a study is being made. Those people, those who are getting exposure to video of compassion or peace or something good, they are having higher level of salivary IgA. But those who are having exposed to grief, vexation and resentment, they are having lower level of IgE, salivary IgE. Now in COVID-19 recent scenario, I am suggesting you, if you are having always in fear, if you are in always with anxiety. I may suffer from COVID. I may get infection from COVID. Like that, due to your raised anxiety level, your salivary IgA level will drop. And if the virus get entry into in your mouth, in your respiratory passage, easily it will multiplicate. But if your mental state you maintain in good condition, in good compassion, good peace, that is why I am also suggesting all of you, don't follow COVID news throughout the day and get panicky. Now the situation common scenario, recent scenario is that everyone may get COVID infection. But what we do now, we can maintain all preventing measures, maintain good health, doing physical exercise, maintain good health, taking nutritious food, maintain good health. It should be in priority level high, maintaining good mental state. If you are not having good mental state, you are under pressure, you are under anxiety, you are under fright, you are under panic, your salivary IgA level will drop down and it will invite more. You will be more susceptible to develop and replicate COVID-19 virus in your body. So be calm and quiet, be peaceful, don't be panicky. Now I am once again connecting whatever actually I am telling regarding psychosomatic disorder. In psychosomatic disorder, scope of counseling is gross. It is only such emotional disease as these which are first engendered and subsequently kept up by the mind itself. That while they are yet recent and before, they have made very great inroads on the corporeal state. May, by means of psychical remedies, such as display of confidence, friendly exhortation, sensible advice, and often by well disguised deception, be rapidly changed into a healthy state of the mind, and also with appropriate diet and regimen. Always take wholesome diet, nutritious diet, which will help to maintain your body, not only body, your mind also, to improve your serotonin level. But the fundamental cause in those cases also is psoric masum, the fundamental, which was only yet quite near its full development. And for security sake, the seemingly cured patient should be subjected to a radical anti-psoriatic treatment. That is a part of the homeopathic doctors. Actually, what I would like to say, in type 4, a deep acting anti-miasmatic medicine is to be required to help the patient. Now I am sharing a slide with few homeopathic medicines. Don't take it as a therapeutic value. Just give the idea. I am just here put it 4 disposition. In our Mathematica, we are having a symptom aversion to husband. Generally, whenever any female lives without any cause having strong aversion to her husband, we are not considering him or her to be treated. But we are having medicine. Aversion to family members, we are having medicines. Consolation aggravates. Generally, we are thinking that whenever we are getting in trouble, if someone giving consolation, everyone feeling good. No, there are few persons, though they feel bad whenever get consolation. We are having medicine. There are contradiction intolerance. There is a few patients, few person in our society, in our family, in a society, they do not bear any contradiction. Very much irritable, they vehement in every moment. We are having medicine. Yes, I am giving few examples. The scope of homeopathy in different mental disposition. Now I am inserting another slide from different mental causes. If symptoms develop in corporeal level or mental level, we have lots of medicine. First, bad news elements come, egotism elements come, grief elements come, even joy elements come. In this connection, I would like to share one of the beautiful case in my life. A boy visited my chamber about 4 to 5 years ago. He was a very good and intelligent bright boy in his school. his teacher expected him to stand rank in state level. But whenever he appeared in his examination from the first day, he did very good. After returning from examination, the teachers met him and asked about what happened to you. He said, "Beautiful sir, I have answered every question in a very good manner, and I will get marks, full marks, almost full marks." Then one of the teacher, he said, "Okay, okay, keep it up, keep it up. You will get rank in board. Keep it up, keep it up." Getting this, he became very joyful, become not inspired, very joyful, and not bear the thing. And being joyful at the evening when he returned in his home, whenever he is ready to prepare for his next day preparation, next day subject, he did not concentrate. What happened to me? Why am I not concentrating? Then he likes to weeping. The parents asked him, "What happens to you?" Well, nothing. I do not just concentrate myself in my study. Then what will happen with me? After that, he dropped down in depression, and in that year, he did not appear in the board examination. And they consulted a psychiatric physician. Psychiatric physician advocated some psychiatric medicine. Getting that, he was doing well, but the psychiatric physician advised him not to attend examination in that year. After 1 year, parents with one of his teachers, they consulted me, and having this scope, elements from joy, getting some mental trouble, especially concentration difficulty, flow of thoughts coming in minds, and do not concentrate, we are having. And considering all we prescribed medicine and getting that medicine, he recovered. Not only recovered, he completed his 12th standard, then BSc Mathematics honors, then he ranked in WBCS examination in West Bengal. Now he is continuing serving as a WBCS officer career in government of West Bengal. So, in that manner, with homeopathic medicine, if we collect symptom correctly and the patient helps in that manner, we may help the patient at lot. Now I am presenting a case, known case of Alzheimer's disease with homeopathic medicine, how he developed and improved. Just you observe. I am asking about his residence. He did not recollect anything about his residence, his name, everything. After getting homeopathic medicine, what development we got? Hope you have seen in the previous.
Sir, the video is not working. The video is cracking.
Like some songs, whatever you sang in early life. He has also been improved his cognition. A patient of known Alzheimer's disease, almost incurable disease in modern medicine, getting homeopathic treatment, he improved so beautifully. Though he could sing a song in earlier life. So, general instruction for Hahnemann regarding mental disease. the treatment of the violent insomnia and melancholy can take place only in an institution, especially arranged for their treatment, designated institution for psychiatric treatment or the violent cases. I am presenting a graph for positive psychology. Actually, whenever we are prescribing homeopathic medicine with corporeal disease, in selected cases, it may happen we are prescribing medicine for young boys and girls, those are suffering from bronchial asthma. And they're very restless, they are inattentive. Whenever we took the case, we asked about from the parents, we got the information. Along with the bronchial asthma trouble, he was restless, he did not concentrate his mind. Whenever treatment is going on, after that, we are suggesting, now he is cured, so now we would like to stop the treatment. The parents are requesting, please continue, sir, for another few days, few months. Regarding his mental trouble, in earlier period when he was suffering from bronchial asthma, he did not concentrate properly in his study. But after getting your medicine, at the same time, bronchial asthma improved. With that, the psychological state, concentration also improved. So I am requesting you, sir, please continue for more 3 months. Likewise, we are helping patients to develop in their positive psychology. Regarding positive psychology, I am inserting a slide here. In the vertical line, if we consider it is challenge, and in the horizontal line, if it is skill, there should be an harmony between challenge and skill. In few cases, someone may have very good skill. Skill is very good, but the challenge is very less. It is the flow line, it is the success line, but the meeting point does not cross the success line. Why? The harmony between challenge and skill is not matching or harmonious. In another case, challenge is high, but the skill is less. In that case also, it is not touching the flow line. Whenever challenge and skill goes hand to hand with proper harmony, admirable harmony function takes place, then only we are getting flow. So in our life also, whenever we are moving forward, we are taking challenges, we should develop our skill at the same time. Sometimes we are developing our skill, but we are not having any challenge in our mind. In that case also, what will happen? In that case, we are not touching the success line. We are having sufficient skill, but challenge is less. In another point, challenge is very high, aspiration is very strong, but skill is less. We have to develop simultaneously skill and challenge, and then only we touch the flow line. So now I am like to conclude, homeopathy is a science of human possibilities. Why I am telling? The homeopathic interview is a crucial meeting point and a very important one in the life, not only of the patient, but also of the physician. It is a meeting of two beings, not two persons. It is a meeting of two beings at the right time, at the right place, for the right purpose. To bring out what? Not only physical cure, to bring out the real good, to fulfill the higher purposes of his existence. It could be better if we say homeopathy is a science of human excellency. Not only possibility, as getting homeopathic treatment as a whole, an equilibrium and harmony is being restored in human body and mind, out of which victim becomes healthy both in body and mind. And he will enjoy his health instrument for the higher purpose of his existence. Those who are only seeking treatment for abnormal psychology may also get recovered without any adverse effect or inhibition in mental activity. They also exhibit far better potentiality in his life. In this way, through homeopathic treatment, man will fulfill far better and improve potentiality and also attain fulfillment, the goal of human evolution. So, I would like to say, I started homeopathy and mental health And I like to conclude, homeopathy is a science of human excellency. Thank all of you. Blessed is the heart that does not collect resentment. So please don't collect, don't recollect resentment. Blessed is the heart that does not collect resentment. Thank all of you for your patient hearing, and I will be happy if you ask more about positive psychology. Then I will be happy to answer your questions. Thank all of you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bishwajit Basu, sir. It was really a very, very invigorating session and an enlightening session for all, I gather. And really true to what you have said, that homeopathy is really a science of human possibilities and excellence, which you have proved. Before we close the session, as we have discussed, sir, that I would request you to attend a few questions that are being posed by the participants. So one by one, a few questions can be taken care of, sir.
Perhaps I have completed my session within 50 minutes, Mr.
You have
Bhome.
really
Hopefully, I
been,
have completed my session within 50 minutes. You are having.
sir, you've proved another thing, sir. You've
Okay,
proved another thing,
continue.
that homeopathy, it's absolutely, punctuality you've taught us. I mean, it's absolutely on time, sir.
Perhaps,
It's miraculous.
perhaps you know in our program always we are maintaining all those things. You know. Okay,
Yes, yes, I've
continue.
been attending many program of yours, sir. It's really nice, excellent. So, sir, I would just request you that if you could attend to a few questions posed by the participants. So, I
Okay,
would
okay.
request participants to come one by one. Just in the chat box, you all can give your message. Sir would read it and answer a few questions accordingly, sir. Yes, please. In the chat box, we would expect some questions.
Yeah, there is a question in a chat box regarding this is escitalopram drugs and what is its substitute in homeopathy.
Pardon?
That in some neurological problem we should have to go through serotonin reuptake like escitalopram drugs. How we can substitute it with homeopathy drugs?
Okay. Actually, whenever you were comparing with few drugs with pharmacological names in comparison with homeopathy, it is very difficult to manage. Actually, in homeopathic system of medicine, Hahnemann beautifully classified 4 groups of patients. Among 4 groups, we consider the patient, we diagnose the patient in what groups he belongs, and accordingly we treat that patient. No question of substitute. If any patient seeking treatment for his psychiatric trouble and visit any homeopathic physician, according to homeopathic principle, he will decide in what class actually the patient is belongs. And in every group, every class, I have narrated the mode of therapy. It is not like substitute for modern medicine. Their pharmacology is different. Where pharmacology is different. We are not supposed to give up any modern medicine or allopathic medicine and start any medicine from our side only from pharmacology point of view. We prescribe according to our principle. Okay. Anything else?
Okay.
Actually, I want
Any
to
other
ask one
question?
question here from my side.
Yes,
Pardon?
ask.
Hello, Shashank.
Hello.
Yes, ask.
Yes, yes, you can speak.
Hello. Sir, there is one question from my side that the basic physiology which we follow, whether it is a allopathy or homeopathy, it is same. Just like you told that
Yes,
the
yes, yes,
concentration of
yes, yes.
immunoglobulin A and E is there in salivary amylase in salivary glands. In the same manner, the previous question which was asked about the escitalopram, and there are certain serotonin reuptake inhibitors are there. Means the serotonin level, when there is a decline in serotonin level, then the psychosomatic problems occur.
Okay.
So I feel that whether it is homeopathy or allopathy, the physiology is the same. So
Yes, yes.
can a patient who is on any psychosomatic drug, whether it is this we are talking about escitalopram, amitriptyline is there, or TCA, tricyclic antidepressant. There are so many antipsychotic drugs. Can a patient who is on these psychosomatic drugs for a longer period of time be withdrawn through with the help of homeopathy? If the person comes into homeopathy, can these medication be withdrawn after a period of time having treatment with the homeopathic doctor?
Yes, yes. I am telling you. When there are a few patients, they are coming with having some continuing drugs. Few patients are coming, but as a fresh patient. You are asking about the patient,
Okay.
those who are taking allopathic drugs for any psychosomatic causes, reason. Okay. In that cases, what we are doing, whenever we are taking the case in detail, after taking the case, whenever we are selecting any remedy, that remedy what actually cause in our economy, human economy, from physiological point of view. Whenever we are prescribing homeopathic medicine for any particular person, for any particular disease condition, it may be mental or physical, that doesn't matter. Whenever we are prescribing any medicine, it starts to restore the harmony in his vitals. When it is being restored properly, then the deficiencies or abnormalities, wherever it is going on, it will be corrected. Patients, those who are taking antidepressive drugs from modern medicine part, allopathic part, we are not supposed to suggest them to withdraw all those medicines. Whatever we are doing, we are prescribing on our part and ask them to continue those medicine with the suggestion of particular that doctor. Whenever our medicine is improving, they feel good. But if they visit that doctor, particular doctor under which treatment is going on his part, that doctor is withdrawing all those medicine. We are not supposed to withdraw.
Hello, sir.
We are getting enforcement and the patient is improving.
Good afternoon, sir. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Yes, sir. Is there any medicine for cancer patients?
Oh, actually, it is not the platform to say something about cancer. Oh, one thing I am telling you, cancer is a very big term.
Yes.
Within 1 minute, it is very difficult. One thing I am telling you, in any type of cancer, depending of the diagnosis and pathological state of the patient, we are prescribing medicine. Accordingly, they will be relieved or cured anything else. Okay.
Okay, sir. Can you refer any doctors in Hyderabad, sir? I believe
Pardon?
homeopathy.
No, it is not a proper platform, all those questions. Please, Mr.
All these
Dhumi,
questions, madam, Shashank ji, I mean, I think the
relevant questions should be
Hello.
relevant. Session.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Hello.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, I want to ask you a question about like there is a means in news there was in COVID-19 the recent cases is going on, and there was a drug of called arsenicum album, or like this medicine is being prescribed by the homeopathic physicians. So I want to ask you that what is the approach, means why selecting this drug, or how it will means help us to fight against COVID, means what are its target against this disease?
Okay.
Yes.
Though this question is not also relevant to today's topics, but a decent scenario invites this question. I am inviting this. Actually, a day before yesterday, from one of our friend from Kerala, they have conducted a beautiful research, the immunomodulatory effect of arsenic album. They have published in ResearchGate. I am suggesting you people, you just click in ResearchGate, immunomodulatory effect of arsenic. You will get in detail how arsenic develops immunological level in the human economy. Next.
I think we all need to ask questions, participants, only on the pertinent to the topic, please, because we will that enthuses us to make such programs on cancer. Maybe again we will again call Dr. Bishwajit Basu sir, who will give his expertise on cancer also. But then this platform is only for mental health. So I think it would be better if we would restrict ourselves to mental health only. If there are any more questions, one or two can be answered more.
The question regarding positive mental health would be more appreciated.
Yes.
So a few people are suffering from psychiatric trouble. All the people who are going and monitoring like anything without any positive approach. We are having the scope of positive health in homeopathy.
Right, sir. Absolutely.
There is one question from our side. There is one disease like this compulsive disorder, OCD, obsessive
Yes, yes,
compulsive disorder.
yes.
Does homeopathy consider this as a psychosomatic disease, or it is something which is related to other things?
No, we are considering OCD as it is being diagnosed by ICD-10. We are not classifying in another on any another group from diagnostic part. But from treatment part, I am assuring you, we are having treatment for OCD.
Okay.
Right.
It is
Diagnosis
100%
is
curable.
same. Diagnosis is same. Generally, what we are doing whenever any patient visit in our chamber for consultation without any diagnosis, sometimes it may happen a 2 to 3 years child came to our chamber with respiratory trouble, but on our observation we got that the patient is suffering from respiratory trouble, but he is an autistic child. Then I refer
Yeah.
that patient to Rajabhaja Science College for diagnosis. They diagnose they score all the things, and depending on that diagnosis, we treat those patients. And when we were evaluating the patient regarding improvement, parents are also reporting. Apart from that, we are getting report from that person expertise regarding diagnosis. We are saying, okay.
And there are so many psychosomatic diseases which are related to the degenerative changes in the neurons in the brain, like Alzheimer's is there, and various other diseases, dementia is there. So, is homeopathy capable of handling these things? Parkinson's is one of the disease.
Perhaps you, yes, actually, you are actually telling the name of the disease. Once again, I am telling you, we the homeopath, we consider the patient that have the disease. Not depending upon the name of the disease, we are treating the patient. Whenever any patient is coming before us, and we are seeking consultation, whenever giving help to the patient, we taking all the symptoms and the diagnosis, consider all as a whole, we treat the patient that has the disease. In any disease, it may be psychological, it may be physical, unless or until we are getting prescribing symptom, patient will not be cured. But in almost all cases, getting few symptoms, if it be not prescribing symptom, getting the common symptom also, he may prescribe homeopathic medicine and they will get some reliefs. But to execute cure in every case, it may be physical trouble, it may be psychological trouble. We have to collect some prescribing symptoms, as in terms we are saying in homeopathic literature, totality of the symptoms, and depending upon that we prescribe.
So one more question is
Thank
there
you so much.
that biocombination like Tranquil is there. Is it good to take it regular like alprazolam that has side effect and drug dependency? Is there any effect associated with the Tranquil also?
Once again, I am telling what is doing with our homeopathic medicine. Whenever anyone is suffering from any psychiatric trouble, suppose anyone is suffering from anxiety neurosis. For that reason, they are supposed to take a tranquilizer. But we consider anyone who is suffering from anxiety disorder, actually he or she is having disharmony in her mental level. With homeopathic medicine, as per our mathematical knowledge and our principle, we like to help with homeopathic medicine to make harmony, restore the harmony. Whenever the harmony returns, automatically the depression will goes away. There is no specific biochemical fact, whatever actually you are expecting, the particular medicine will go there and will secrete something. Not like that. We will correct the harmony. Actually, it is also the limitations of basic science, how homeopathic medicine is act on human economy. It is not the limitations of homeopathic science. Still, basic science is not in that much level to explain the mechanism of homeopathic medicine in human economy. But in clinical field, for 250 years and till recent days, we are getting the beautiful result of homeopathic medicine.
So I think we have answered a host of questions, sir. I know that many more questions would be there with many participants who have been so nice, who have been so cooperative, and who have really made the session very beautiful. The question would give the address and maybe the phone number of BAAH, and you can contact Dr. Vishwajit Basu sir later on to get appropriate answers for your queries which are still pending. So now, since time is a constraint, I think we'll have to close the session because this will go on and on. I remember in many programs of Dr. Vishwajit Basu sir, which I've attended, fortunately, I found that we've crossed the time and the participants wanted to continue it further. This always doesn't happen because time is definitely a constraint. So I would opportunity to close the session. Before that, I would thank once again Dr. Orijit Kormokar, the head of the Department of Physiology of Madhavananda Mahavidyalaya College of Barakpur, and we, Dr. Wilmer Schwabe, India Private Limited, have been the collaborators of this program. And as I said at the outset of introducing our venerated speaker, I was saying that it's actually much more than just absence of mental disorders and disabilities, which Dr. Vishwajit Basu sir has really explained to the fullest. And as we all know, that homeopathy is always very conscientious, but then that is all the more reason as to why we thought it imperative that we would exhibit the true picture of homeopathy, the homeopathic science, through a very authentic speaker like Dr. Vishwajit Basu sir. And I think we've done it to quite an extent. And as you will understand that any science, any pathy has some scientific dogmas. And I think even homeopathy has. And that is a very positive connotation, I would say. And having scientific dogmas is actually a sign of confidence. And with all this, I would also thank Mr. Prashant Shekhar, Mr. Praveen Saxena for being with us and making this session very smooth. Of course, there were some hiccups with the sound, which was not muted maybe. And the next session will be muted. Some disturbances which occurred, but otherwise, it was really very informative and it was an excellent session. I personally was quite enlightened. And with this, I thank once again all the participants for being extremely cooperative. And I really wish that all of you all stay healthy, stay safe, stay protected, but let us stay active so that we can do more and more such enlightening webinars in future. Thank you very
Once
much,
again,
sir. Yes, sir.
Once again, I may pay my gratitude and thanks to the organizer, especially Mr. Bhumik and Mr. Dr. Kormokar for arranging this beautiful session, and also the participants who are bearing us for a long time. It is my pleasure to be with you all people. Hope all of you be safe, all of you in good health. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Till we see again.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Bye.
Thank you, sir.